Do you ever wonder why people completely lose it when they hear something that challenges their worldview? Why, instead of thinking it through, why do they get angry, defensive, or just outright dismiss it? It's not logic. It's not critical thinking. It's conditioning. We live in a world that is made to keep you comfortable. Your social media feed, your news algorithm, even the people you surround yourself with, it's all carefully curated to be a reflection of what you already believe. You're not used to seeing anything that challenges you. So when you finally do, your brain treats it like a threat. Your brain is addicted to agreement. This is why people struggle with real conversations. It's not simply that they can't handle the truth. It's that they haven't conditioned themselves to respond to anything that disrupts their mental comfort zone. Your brain rewards you when it finds agreement. You get a little dopamine hit every time you see something that validates what you already think. But when something goes against that, it triggers resistance, frustration, even fear. Happens to me too. That's why people argue in the comment sections. It's why they shut down when they're presented with new ideas. It's not because they're thinking critically, it's because they're reacting emotionally. The biggest lie people tell themselves, that they're thinking. Most people aren't thinking. They're just reacting based on whatever their environment has trained them to believe. They assume that if something feels right, it must be true. And if something feels wrong, it must be false. But feelings don't determine the truth. You heard the phrase before, the truth hurts. You ever ask why? The truth doesn't hurt because it's mean. It hurts because it forces a choice, a decision. And a decision isn't just about choosing one thing. It's about cutting off everything else. It's a severing, a dividing line between what is and what isn't, what you will and what you won't pursue, what you will value and what you'll shun, what you'll do and what you won't. And when something gets cut, it doesn't feel good. It hurts. The truth is like a spotlight. It exposes what's real. And when that reality doesn't match what you've been telling yourself, you feel it. But it's not an attack. It's an exposure. I've had people tell me before that my words made them feel seen. But here's the reality. It's not me or the content seeing them. It's the truth showing up and showing them themselves. The truth is a mirror. So in a very real way, yeah, they were being seen. They were seeing the truth about themselves, and what they did next, that was up to them. The truth isn't some feel-good, do-gooder concept. It's not a unifier. The truth is a divider, because some people will accept it and some people won't. And that's why it feels dangerous. But here's the problem. Lies divide people too. And often the truth and a lie can feel and look almost the same. That's why it's so easy to confuse one for the other. But a friend of mine, Joey Maldonado, a man Joey, he once told me that agents trained to detect counterfeit money, they're not taught all the different ways a bill can be faked. They don't study the flaws. They study the real thing. They learn the true version so well that the fakes stand out immediately. That's how the truth works. It doesn't change. It doesn't bend to your feelings, and it always causes a response. Always. Because real truth isn't neutral. It forces you to make a choice. You just might not recognize it because the assumptions you've lived with for so long run counter to it. And if it's threatening what you've spent a lifetime gathering around you, if it's saying you might have built the wrong thing, of course you want to ignore it. But what if it's not just challenging what you've built? What if it's also pointing you back to what you were meant to build all along? If you spent your whole life rejecting what you were built for, your gifts, your calling, your design, then of course the truth, which is that you're designed for something other than the things you've cluttered your life with and attached yourself to, of course that feels like an attack. But maybe that feeling isn't a threat. Maybe it's an invitation.